If I was starting over in the lucrative field of tech, these are the 7 things I would do, as told to you by a person that's been in, tech for 10 plus years. I'm self-taught, etc. But I've also mentored a lot of mofos, whether it was through like my nonprofit or being a 3-time AWS community builder. The reason I've really been a tech evangelist is because I know how much it's changed my life, and I just want that for y'all too. And I know right now there's a lot of propaganda about tech being cooked. I mean, it's fried a little bit, but it's not deep fried. And hopefully these 7 reasons will give you, new hope. Hey, VFC fam, it's your boy Joshua Tech Dev Walker, your venti fried chicken author and global cloud slinger. And if you haven't gotten this book yet, man, you is slipping. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. Let's get to this game. Number 1, you got to set realistic expectations for yourself. And that's mainly around the timeline. I think part of the issue has been is that we went from, hey, get a 6-figure job in 3 months to, hey, man, nobody can get a job in tech. And honestly, the answer is somewhere in between. So I would set a realistic expectation that this might take longer than you think, but maybe it won't take as long as you think. And with that, I want to just give you like a really small personal story to really edify this. So there was someone that I was mentoring like years ago. They're now like a senior solutions architect at one of the biggest, open source groups in the world. They're actually at the biggest open source provider in the world now. But at the time they were coming from, another sector. They were in government, but on the more political side. They got some certifications. They had some really, good portfolio pieces. But during the interviews and all that stuff wasn't really clicking. And, it was starting to lag a little bit. But the advice I gave them, and that I still continue to give a lot of folks, is even if this takes another year, would it be worth your whole life changing? And the answer is yes. A few months later after that, they broke through. And if you want to ask them now if they could, quit at that time, what it would have done to their life versus them holding on, you would see. I can see visibly from Instagram, they're doing pretty good. So just enjoy the process. And this is coming from someone that had a full-time job, a wife, a daughter, when I was cutting over to tech. Number 2, I kind of touched on a little bit, but make sure to credentialize yourself. And one of the easiest ways to do this is by getting certifications. And certifications aren't as heavy as they used to be, but they still have some value, especially if you don't want to go back to school. But advice that I give you and that I give to all my students is that a good example is doing an associate level exam in the example at AWS. So like the solution architect associate, the DevOps associate, and up. But then when you get into those professional exams, you're going to get even better looks. And then when you get into the specialty exams, the same thing. And the main advice I'm saying here is I'd rather you do a certification straight with the CSP, like the cloud service provider, because who's better than the source, you know what I mean? And if you need to do some of the more like rudimentary or beginner certs in the beginning, that's fine, just to gain momentum, I get it. But just know that associate and up is what's going to help get you more eyes on your resume, not those beginner certs. Number 3 goes hand in hand with number 2. You need to have a good portfolio. You need to be able to show what you've done, talk through what you've done, and explain what your design decisions were when it comes to architecture. But even bigger than the interview part is just learning by doing. There's nothing that can beat that. There's nothing that can bridge the gap more than you just put in the sheer amount of hours into building stuff. If you ask anyone around me, this has been my methodology since the beginning, since anyone knew who I was, before any employer cared about me. It was all about just getting my hands dirty, and you need to do the same. And even though I'm going to refresh my portfolio videos, there are still a few that are still relevant. So go back and look at those. I'll put these up here in the description, but I will be refreshing this soon. So make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification if that still matters. Number 4 is a super important one as well. Once you have, your credentials, you have your portfolio, now it's time to go outside. Be outside. With all these AI resumes, all these candidates are looking the same. And this is someone that is helping with hiring. You don't know who is who until you actually get into the interview. But one of the easiest ways to jump the line is to meet people like in person. So if you live in like a modestly populated city like me in Orlando, Florida, there's a ton of people that live here that you could try and connect with. LinkedIn, coffee, croissants, whatever. Go to meetups, go to Eventbrite stuff. Any way that you can just get in front of these people in person, it makes a big difference. And if you live in like a more rural place, there's usually still people that live in your like metro area. And then if you still live in like Timbuktu or something, just make sure you reach out to them on, put that personal touch and seeing if you can connect with them 10, 15 minutes online and let them know you're not selling anything but yourself. Number 5 helps edify all of this, but it's to pick an industry. So a good example is I'm in life sciences and healthcare. And that's helped separate me from a lot of other technicians because I have like industry competency basically. But I know people that are, you know, experts in solution architecture and marketing, or in banking or higher ed. Figure out an industry that you could either add a lot of value to or you're interested in, and this could be an easy way for you to differentiate yourself from others. Number 6 is big, and it goes without saying, but it's kind of not going without saying, is make sure that you're seeing how you apply AI to anything that you're doing. And I say it like this: I'm a solution architect within mainly Amazon Web Services, but there's a lot of supporting tools, and then AWS itself has a ton of amazing Gen AI tools and just AI and ML tools in general. So then now that you have your portfolio, your industry aligned, now you can use AI within, you know, that space to see how you make things efficient in the specialty that you're focusing on. If you really see the headlines, everyone is trying to use AI to accelerate their business. So if you're the person that just comes off the street and you're able to add value through AI, you're going to separate yourself from a lot of people. And number 7, last but not least, is to be visible. I'll give you my personal story. So mind you, I've been at my employer for 8+ years now, I believe. And the reason I got that opportunity is because I was just in this joint, like, for the love of the game. Like, I was working with startups. I had no like visions of like corporate or anything like that. And I was happy with what I was doing, but still kind of just open for opportunities. But one of the things I did frequently was always speak at free meetups and stuff. So I was talking about data science in the context of cloud computing. And then someone was like, "Hey, you seem really smart. They're opening up this thing, you know, a city over. You should check them out." And, you know, kind of the rest is history. So a lot of times, similar to, you know, going outside to meet people, you being on that stage will just be a huge microphone of like people knowing that you know what you're talking about, and those are the people they want on their team. And then you quantify that even more. A lot of like you getting up higher faster is public speaking and be able to convey yourself. So when people see you with those soft skills, it really goes a long way. And then on top of that, you know, we have social media content, like stuff like this, where I'm staying visible. But me on this one, it's not because of my career, it's because I want to give back. But maybe initially when I was getting in, I wanted to showcase everything I was doing. So I was posting on LinkedIn, I was posting on whatever social media was popping at that time. So you could do the same, be undeniable, be like someone they can't ignore. If you're like an OG and you're in your tech career or whatever, and I missed any tips, drop them in the comments, because we're just trying to help out the cloud gang. Hopefully these 7 things helped you out. Like and subscribe. Train, inspire, relate, cloud.